Hi guys, we're gonna be talking about shoulder anatomy with Dr. Bro.
All right, thanks for that intro. So, talk basic anatomy here. February is gonna be shoulder health month, so we're gonna really focus on the shoulder. So, the better we can understand the anatomy, the better we can keep you healthy there. Shoulders probably the number one area in CrossFit that tend to take the most beating. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at this arm here. Okay, so we have the humerus, that's this arm bone here, that goes up into the kind of labrum, the shoulder capsule. So the shoulder is a ball and socket joint. Okay, so the more of a smooth ball and socket we have there, the healthier that shoulder is going to be. A lot of times, the space gets closed down there. And that's what leads to some pinching or some limited ranges of motion in that shoulder. So a lot of the activities that we do can end up, again, biasing us one way or the other. That's why generally, and I don't know how you feel about this, but how many pushes should we do versus pulls? Do you talk about that? That's a big thing in strength and conditioning.
Not a big, not directly to the classes, but yeah.
But do you have a 1-to-1, 2-to-1?
No, I like doing at least 2-to-1.
Yeah. So again, everything we do in modern day life, again, Edgar's not the normal human being, being a very fit human being, but most of us are all kind of in here, we're on our cars, we're on our phones, so we tend to get very tight here, and again, we're already kind of pushed forward. So in the gym, for every single rep you do of a push, whether that's a bench press or what have you, or a push-up, then I think we need to be doing like 3 or 4 pulls to really balance that out, because again, gravity's taking us forward and we want to get those shoulders into better, healthier positions. All right, so coming back to the anatomy, the labrum is kind of coating that capsule. So we want to make sure that when you hear about a labral tear, that's when the ball and socket in there, that space where there's some cushioning, ends up getting a little tear. There's many different types of labral tears. All right, and sometimes that happens because this bicep tendon, where we can kind of point it out right there. So if you were to flex that bicep, right? So this is the big muscle belly, but the tendon itself goes there and it goes up into the labrum. So sometimes when somebody overexerts that, it can pull on the labrum. So kipping pull-ups, if you're doing them and you're not quite doing them properly, can yank a little bit on that labrum. So that's where we want to make sure you're progressing your pull-ups properly. Right? Any thoughts on progressing pull-ups, kipping? When do you start letting people kip?
We usually start kipping after you can do 2-3 strict pull-ups, just because I want to make sure you guys are not having any bicep issues or just overall swinging off the pull-up bars.
Yep. So another big concept, if we can keep going into anatomy, we might touch on a few other pieces, but is this concept of regional interdependence, basically saying that the shoulder is connected up to the neck. A lot of times we see a lot of stuff going up into the neck, and then it's also connected down into the lower part of the arm. So again, a lot of tendinitis happening in here. People tend to survive with it and be able to work out through it. But if we need to have a good conversation about this, I really hope we're going to touch on this month. But a lot of times you might feel a little achiness in there. So we want to start having that conversation of where that is in terms of healthy, unhealthy, along that spectrum. Again, sometimes if you're like, yeah, it kind of is achy, but as soon as I get warmed up, it actually starts to feel better. That's not a sign that you should just make sure you're doing a better warm-up. That's a sign we still need to address that damage in there. And again, most of us, is that a little tender?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much tenderness? 0 to 10, 10 being a gunshot wound.
6, 7.
6, 7 on that outside. And again, most of us have that just from having, again, good built-up muscle there. What about on the inside? What number is that?
3.
Yeah, again, that's common, and again, I can keep playing around finding some different spots, but yeah, it's not usually as intense in there. But this is where a lot of us do get some built-up tendinitis that becomes tendinosis, another conversation worth having. And again, sometimes we have carpal tunnel syndrome, not something I would expect Edgar to have, but those of us sitting on a computer all day in kind of these compromised positions, that's something to talk about. And again, that goes all the way up to the neck, pec, all of this chain. So, basic anatomy, any other thoughts there? No? Good?
No closing remarks.
All right, so we'll keep it up for February, Shoulder Health Month, and yeah, hit us up.